So we are back for another review, and today we're gonna check out a really exciting IEM. This is the Blon Prometheus, and this is really interesting because this is the flagship Blon, the best of the best for Blons and their brand as well. And from the title of this video, this is the Blon upgrade that you want, and we're gonna find out why in this video. Of course, big thanks to Linsole Audio for sending this over. Links down below for their shop, and it's in the, I would say, typical Blon packaging, a very minimalist in design. You're getting WGZ Blon Music and Dreams, Let Music Burn since 2014 on BLA8 as well. And you're getting that in design here. And on the other side, you're getting 20 kHz in frequency range, 115 dB in sensitivity, 3.5mm jack, 32 ohm impedance, and you're getting one dynamic driver as well, 10mm. So this is really exciting because usually here in this channel, I do like Blons in general. I like their house sound, so it fits my preference. So opening it up, so this is your unboxing experience on WGZ Blon, and you have Prometheus as well. So lightweight diaphragm to give you the best possible musical experience. And look at this, guys. That's definitely one of the most unique earphones around. So whether you like that or not, of course, that will be up to you. But I do like it overall. In terms of the design, I like that it's unique. All right, so you're getting a similar case than what you're getting with other price ranges here. You're getting a new cable as well. So this is an updated Blon cable. Might be the best Blon cable that I have seen. It's kind of silky. Kind of reminds me of the Blon Mini, but this is the more silky version here. Definitely upscale kind of cable here. And also straight plug as well at the top. So really nice looking cable here. Of course, you're getting some additional ear tips as well. So looking at the lobes itself, so definitely this is a unique look to this. It had some fins actually, so that's nice. And all metal in build, really feels good in the hand in this. And actually, you might be seeing that dynamic driver lobe in the inside. So they did put the skeleton in the outside to make it kind of a custom IEM fit. Still while having a pretty small lobe, one dynamic driver there at the inside, and you're still getting some fins here. So really cool design here, I would say. So you're still gonna get your custom IEM shape, but not maybe as heavy as having full metals here, and still having that nice design. So what I like about this is this might be still breathable on the ear. So that's one of the advantage here, because it's kind of open. So it will be it can be comfortable to wear for a long listening session, because it's not that suffocating feeling. It has still some fins, which will give you more stability, but it has that holes, which will give you more breathability and comfort. And also this is quite light as well here. So really cool on this. So maybe one of my worries here is maybe if this has some pressure, maybe if you put something on top of this, will this flatten? I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to try it, but that is one issue that I can think of that might be an issue for some. So that's something for you guys to consider. But I do feel that it won't happen because it feels really solid in the hand. But yeah, this is metal, and metal is still gonna be pliable. So yeah, that will be up to you to consider, guys. But overall, I am liking the design here. All right, so putting the cables in, this is gonna be what it looks like. So yeah, it feels upscale, looks upscale for me. You have that unique looking lobes and a really good looking cable as well. So yeah, definitely for the price that you're paying for, I would say this is one of the more better built in that price range. I'd say you have that metal design, you have a really nice looking cable. Maybe just one of my gripes is, of course, for the price that you're paying for, you're not getting a hard case. It's not the most premium packaging, but because you're getting really good build quality here and the cable is nice, it might be just okay here. All right, so let's put this on the ear. So the fit on the ear in this is actually really good for me. So for Blons, this might be one of the better fitting Blons around. It has some fins as well, so it's really stable on the ear. And actually, because of that kind of open design, it's actually breathable on the ear. So they were able to make it fit really well and still breathable on the ear. And not a lot of IEMs are like that. So stability is really good for me in this, above average. So this will stay on your ear. Also, comfort is actually really good as well because of the more open design here. It's quite breathable to listen to on the ear. Isolation is just average from here. I can still hear some of my voice, so not the best here. This is not your monitor, type of isolation overall. But I would say not so bad overall in this. So for the fit on the ear, this is an upgraded Blon for me. I do like this over the Blon 03. Also even over the Blon 01. So over the Blon 01s, this goes more inside your ear compared to the Blon Mini and this IEM. This is more stable compared to the Blon Mini. So for me, I kind of like the fit on this better than the Blon Mini. But the Blon Mini is still no slouch. But I kind of like this one over the Blon Mini. So as for me, fit on the ear, this is the best Blon for me that you can find. Right now, going to the sound. So first, this is the Blon upgrade that you want. So this is a very Blon kind of sound. So overall, this kind of reminds me of maybe the culmination of several Blons put into one. So this has your still boomy bass of the Blon 03, and you're also getting that maybe double horns of the Blon 01 as well, and you're getting that liveliness of the Blon Mini here, that more impactful kind of sound of the Blon Mini. So it's like a culmination of the strengths of several Blons and put into one. So actually, there's the sound. This does remind me of the TC01 as well. So both of them have that double horns at the top. Both of them have that maybe impactful listen to the ear, and both of them have that impactful bass at the bottom as well. But compared to the TC01, this is more bassy compared to the TC01. Your TC01 will have more clarity at the top. So this is more of a bassy V listen to the ear, very musical, lively kind of sound, and also has some physicality in the sound as well. So one of the bigger differences compared to your more budget Blons. So actually, this does remind me of maybe electrostat Triverse here. It has some physicality, more air moving in the sound here, and it makes it really lively to listen to. Ample micro detail here for me as well. So micro dynamics is better for me compared to your more budget Blons. Also smooth and full bodied sound as well, much like what you're getting with your more budget Blons as well. But one of the major advantage here over your more budget Blons is the highs are still extended on top here. So you're getting that 12K, 5K elevation as well. So the highs are pretty much present in the mix in this one. So first, let's go to the signature. So looking at the signature, is more of a bassy V, kind of listen to the ear. So you're getting that double horns at the top and also prominent bass at the bottom here. So from the bass region, you're getting a small rise to around 80 Hertz, and then after that you go down to around 1K, and then actually in 1K to around 1.5K you're getting a small rise, but it goes down to around 4K after that. So the hump in the middle is just a small hump here. And after that, you're getting a really prominent peak at around 8K. So the 8K here reminds me of maybe the Blon Mini. So the Blon Mini also has this maybe 8K elevation. And then after that, it goes down to around 10K. And then after that, you're getting maybe that 14K peak on top. So the air frequencies is really extended on top here. So comparing it to the TC01, so the TC01 also has that double horns at the top. But the horns at the top is a bit moved to around the 5K, 6K region, and also your 12K your air frequencies is around 12K here. And looking at the bass in the TC01 is more recessed in the mix, more toned down in the mix. If you check the Blons here, your Blons have more mid bass elevation there. So that explains the boom in the bass here. So your TC01 will have slightly flatter bass, but still you have that mid bass elevation in the TC01, but not as pronounced as your Blon Prometheus. So compared to the TC01, so your TC01 will have more extended highs on top. We'll have more elevated highs on top, more extended 12K, and also a more elevated 6K region as well. So actually your TC01 will be more of a V type of shape compared to your Blon Prometheus. And also at the bottom, the sub-bass region in the TC01 is maybe around 5 dB more elevated in the mix here. So comparing it to the TFZ number 3, our previous budget bass king, the TFZ number 3 doesn't have that much 12K in the mix, so that's why on the ear the bass and the warmth is more present in the mix in the TFZ number 3. And looking at the sub bass region as well, your TFZ number 3 will have maybe 5 dB more elevated sub bass region. So yeah, the TFZ number 3 the treble is not that extended on top. So compared to the Blon Prometheus, your Prometheus will have more extended highs on top, more extended 12K, more air frequencies on top. So for guitar tracks, you might like the Blon Prometheus tuning in this regard. So comparing it to the Blon 03, so actually your Blon 03 has more elevated mids region here, and on top you're getting more level 6K and also more level 12K on top, but your bass region in the Blon 03 is maybe 5 dB more elevated in the mix here. So on the mix, the Blon 03 will be more of a warm type of listen to the ear, and your Blon Prometheus will be more of a V type of shape to the ear. So they do have some similarities with the bass elevation here, but different tuning overall. So comparing it to the Blon 01, so actually the Blon Prometheus is closer to the Blon 01 compared to other Blons here in this channel. So your bass region has a lot of similarities here, but actually your Blon 01 will have a bit more elevated sub-bass region. But your double horns in the Blon 01, the first peak is around 5K, and your Blon Prometheus, the peak is around 7K. And also on top, your Blon 01, the peak is around maybe 13K. And in the Blon Prometheus, the peak is around maybe 15K, 14K here. And your 12K in the Blon Prometheus is a bit more toned down in this regard. So actually, the toned down 12K maybe reminds me of the CCAs in a way. So the tuning of the Blon Prometheus is a culmination. So looking at the bass, so the bass is really prominent, goes really deep as well. So this is front and center in the mix for bass lovers, for bass heads. This is the IEM that you would want. So frankly, they were able to make it big in the mix, but now compared to the Blon 03, this has some quickness compared to the Blon 03. This has more punch. This has more speed and the overall presentation. So this is not as boomy as your Blon 03, not as slow as your Blon 03. So now it has maybe some technicalities in the bass response here. But yes, this is still your boomy type of bass, still prominent bass, but now a bit faster. So for me, yes, for bass lovers, for bass heads, this is the pick that you would want. But of course, one downside here in the bass is you have some mid bass bleed. Of course, yes, the bass is still elevated in the mix. So for those who doesn't like bass, you might not like this IEM. If you like better separation in your sound, a more toned down sound overall, this might not be your pick. But of course, pros and cons here. For those who like bass at the bottom, this will float your boat. So I would say overall for bass lovers, I would rate this highly. This is the bass that you would want. Very prominent bass at the bottom here. Mids in this is recessed in the mix. This is a bassy V type of listen to the ear. So the mids is recessed, but still for me the vocals have really good body overall. So it's full-bodied vocals here. Again, much like what you get with the Blon 03. And also the presentation here is more of a bright vocal in the mix. Has some energy as well in the presentation overall. And also nice detail for me and tonality as well in the overall presentation. So there's some micro detail here, more so compared to your budget Blonds here. So actually for me, the vocals here reminds me a lot of the TC01 in a way. So it has some speed, some physicality in the vocal region here. However, one downside for me again is this is a V-shaped kind of sound, so the vocal positioning here is not the best in this regard. And also another downside for me is this has some hotness as well in the overall sound. So the hotness maybe reminds me of the Blon 01. In the Blon 01, I did encounter some hotness there as well. Here it's like that as well. So this might have some fatigue when you're listening to it for a long listening session. So for me, it's that lively to listen to that you might encounter some fatigue when you're listening to this for a long listening session. So for those sensitive to fatigue, this might not be the pick that you would want. So going to the highs, so the highs have that double horns at the top. So it's actually well extended on top. So this will be more extended and more present compared to your Blon 03s. Your Blon 03s won't have that much 12K and 8K in the mix. Over your Blon Minis as well, this will have more 12K on top. So the shimmer here is a bit more pronounced in the mix. But compared to the Blon 01s, this will have some similarities because both of them have that 8K and 12K elevation. So this is similar to the Blon 01 in that regard. Here, even if you have that double horns at the top, the body is still pretty good in the mix. It's not the fullest bodied cymbals that I've heard, but still pretty good. It's not thin anemic cymbals here, and also really lively again to listen to, very musical to listen to. So like in September, Earth, Wind and Fire, this is one of the few IEMs with you know, that double horns at the top. You can resolve the shaker in the right side with good body in the mix and still, you know, quite lively to listen to. And also in I Shot the Sheriff as well, the cymbals have that still good body in the mix. So yeah, for me the highs are quite good for me in this. Soundstage in this is actually above average as well. Pretty big in the overall listen. Separation just so for me because of the smooth nature of the sound and also big, you know, bass at the bottom. The separation here is not that good. Your more toned down bass counterparts will have better separation compared to this one. So this is not something that I want to use for maybe some mixing work, or if I want, you know, utmost technicalities in my sound. This is not the pick that I would. But yeah, of course, if you like fun and more engaging sound, this is the pick that you would want. Detail is actually pretty good. You know, while it won't beat your multi-driver counterparts, there's some micro detail here. So for guitar tracks, this will resolve some micro detail for you. Now let's go to IEM comparisons. So compared to the Blon 03 first, because it's the most popular Blon. So firstly, yes, this is an upgrade for me from the Blon 03. So the Blon 03 is more warm to the ear. Less of that, you know, 12K and also 5K extension on top. A touch less lively to listen to as well. A bit more relaxed to the ear. And also less physical sound as well. A more relaxed sound to the ear. And also less hot to listen to in the Blon 03. The Prometheus in comparison still has that boomy bass at the bottom, but now more physical, more impactful sound overall, more revealing sound as well. So has more tight sound in the mix as well, less smooth, faster as well with more micro detail, and also more peak on top here, more shimmer on top. So for this comparison, of course, the Blon 03 for the price is really great in the mix. But for me overall, the Blon Prometheus is more of an upgrade, more of a direct upgrade compared to the Blon 03. It has, you know, better micro detail, you know, more physical sound, a more lively kind of sound to the ear. You're still getting that, you know, big bass at the bottom, but now with better technicalities overall. And overall, I do like the Prometheus over the Blon 03. So compared to the TC01, so both of them have that, you know, fun type of signature. So the TC01 has some similarities in the tuning of the Prometheus. Both are pretty engaging to listen to. Both have, you know, big bass at the bottom. The TC01 though is more V-shaped to the ear, a touch more relaxed as well in the presentation. So again, your Prometheus is more physical, more impactful, you know, kind of presentation. So in the TC01 as well, it's a slightly cleaner sound, touch cleaner sound overall. Less hot to listen to as well in the TC01. It's a bit more relaxed to listen to. And also better separation for me in the TC01 in the mix. The Prometheus has more boomy bass and more prominent bass in the mix. More engaging as well. And also the Blon Prometheus is more lively to listen to. Again, has that physicality in the sound. The vocal recession for me, or the positioning, is similar in the mix, but maybe a touch better in the Prometheus overall, because the T01 is more V of a shape on the mix. So alright, so for this, they do have a lot of similarities. Again, if you like a bigger bass in the mix and more engaging sound, you might like the Prometheus. If you like more clarity, more V, you know, type of shape, better separation, you might like the TC01. So for me, if I'm gonna just choose one, I might choose the Prometheus over the TC01. But I'm just splitting hairs here. I'm just, you know, trying to choose one, but they're really close for me. So compared to the Moondrop Aria, so both of them are really engaging to listen to, but Aria for me is more relaxed to the ear in comparison, but better vocal positioning in the Aria, being a more kind of warm neutral sound on the ear, and also less hot vocals to listen to. The Prometheus in comparison is more engaging, more impactful sound overall. A touch hotter as well of a listen in the Prometheus. More physical sound as well, and also the bass is more prominent in the mix over the Aria. So for me, both are nice, but they accentuate, you know, different parts of the spectrum. If you want big bass, boomy as well, you might like the Prometheus. If you like mids and vocals, I might like the Aria in this regard. So for me personally, in my preference, I do like the Aria more than the Blon Prometheus. I like that the mids are, you know, better positioned in the mix, fuller vocal as well. And for me, I do like that it's a touch less hot to listen to compared to the Blon Prometheus. So compared to the 10T5, so both of them have that. So compared to the 10T5, both of them have that maybe big bass in the mix. But the T5 for me is more toned down in the measurements in the bass region. Both of them have that speed and the physicality in the sound. but the TNT5 has more extended top, brighter in the mix as well, and also bigger stage for me as well in the mix in the TNT5, and also maybe a touch less aggressive sound in the TNT5 compared to the Prometheus, which is, you know, falls to my preference. Separation for me is better as well in the TNT5. The Prometheus in comparison has more recessed vocal, bigger bass in the mix, and also the bass in the Prometheus is more boomy as well in the mix. So for me, both of them have a lot of similarities. The TNT5 has more top end, more elevated you know, top region here. The Prometheus has more prominent low end, so you know it will depend on your preference and your priorities in your IEM purchase. So for me, if I'm gonna choose one in my personal preference, it will be the TNT5. I like that it's less hot to listen to. The bass is a bit more controlled in the mix, and the separation is a bit better in the TNT5. Alright, so this has been a long review. So I actually took my time to review the Prometheus. That's why it's delayed now. But yes, I do recommend it for Blon users looking to upgrade. If you like the Blon sound, if you love the Blon sound, and if you're looking to upgrade your kit, the Prometheus is a direct upgrade from your usual Blons. So maybe come from the Blon Mini, Blon 03, Blon 01 maybe, yes, this will be a nice upgrade from that. So it takes you know, the strengths of those IEMs and then put into one. So that's actually surprising that they were able to do that. This is quite a unique sound to the ear. So for me, yes, for those who like the Blon sound and if you like bass in the mix, this is highly recommended. Of course, some downsides here. This might be too much bass for some people, and also too much mid-bass bleed for some people. And also another downside is this is still a V type of shape to the ear. So some people might not like you know, a fun type of listen to the ear. Another one is the separation is not that good for me in this. So you know, the technicalities in that regard is not the best in this one. So this is more of a fun type of listen to the ear. So yeah, those are the cons that I can think of. But otherwise, if you like bass, fun, engaging type of sounds under $100, this is one of the better ones that you can get, and recommended for me. So that's my review of the Blon Prometheus. Of course, if you learned something, leave a like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next zpolt review. Goodbye.